Well, welcome back. It is still News Up. Let's begin our conversation in earnest as we take you through this very one that borders on the economy. We're looking at economic diversification. It is no longer news that the Federal Ministry of Investment, Trade and Investment has unveiled a roadmap for the diversification of the economy. According to the report, this roadmap is aimed at achieving what they call industrialization and global competitiveness within the sector. It's basically to boost diversification of the nation's economy. Joining me right now, it will be Bamidele Ayemibo. Bamidele Ayemibo will speak on this roadmap as put together by the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment. So good to have you on the show, Bamidele.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I hope you're doing good this morning, Dele. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah, very well.
Yes, I'm getting a little bit perturbed this morning. Well, it seems like the ministry is everywhere right about now. Yes, I know we've all clamored for maybe short, medium, and long-term plan for sectors of the nation's economy or sectors of governance here and there. It is barely 2 months that they launched there was this initiative that was launched by the ministry that should a single window. Yes, a single window initiative was launched by the initiative, and now they are coming out again with a roadmap. A sectoral roadmap for development and expansion. Talk to me, Bamidele. What do you see that this roadmap would achieve? Or better still, help us understand your perspective to the roadmap has been put together by the ministry.
All right. When a new leadership take on the saddle, the first thing is to plan, which is good. What we can see here is the plan of the Minister of Trade to be able to achieve the objectives and the vision of the president. They've divided this, this Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, Ministry of Industry. So what they've tried to do is to create objective, different program around the economy diversification, acceleration through industrialization, digitalization, creative manufacturing and innovation. Then the second was on trade revenue growth, boosting export and foreign exchange earning. And the minister clearly stated that their calculation has been that, look, if we want to really achieve the stability we want with Naira, we need about $50 billion coming into the economy. So more or less have a target, if I would say, based on what she said in one of the interviews she granted. And then investment mobilization and increase investment retention and attraction, which I think make a lot of sense. Because we must have a plan. Now, the question I often ask is, how are we going to go about it? So I'm monitoring every activity of the ministry to know what are they doing, what are they trying to do, and also lending my voice and other professionals in the industry lend their voices about what needs to be done. Because people have said several that the issue in Nigeria is not an issue of having policy or having a program or having a plan. The issue is being able to implement what you plan to do for the betterment of the country. So on paper, looks very good, but implementation is what I think we need to talk about.
Okay, so bottom line is economic diversification, accelerate through industrialization, digitization, creative arts, manufacturing, and innovation. Bamidele, you and I understand that all of these have been highlighted here naturally would need a platform to run on. When we talk about industrialization, I'm looking at the concerns around power, which I think will be a bane. This is the bane for any industrialization. And shockingly for me is the fact that we've not been able to deal with the fundamentals on which all of this would ride on. So I don't know how you see this. I don't know how you see if indeed we can digitize, if we have not invested enough in technology. I don't know how you think we can industrialize, if we have not been able to ramp up our power, our electricity supply. These are concerns that I think we should bring to the fore for the ministry. It's not all about a roadmap. It's about achievability of the roadmap. It's about having things that on which the roadmap would fly with.
Very correct, very, very correct. And what I think they are trying to do, for example, the president, the government, the minister rather, has been talking a lot in recent time about digitization, about digital trade, about service export. My recommendation will be for industrialization of Nigeria, for example. I think we have to change our strategy. I think we need to, there is this concern about the fact that SME are the engine room of growth. So if we want to grow our economy, then we need to see how to support industrialization driven by SME, by a collaboration between the big organization and the SME. Let me explain. So for example, if we want to diversify and say we want to process, let's say we want to diversify into the mineral sector, for example, the government can partner with businesses who currently are processing minerals to expand their capacity. Meaning, if I'm producing lead and I'm converting to lead ingot, and I can do maybe 100 tons in a day, it's expanded to about 500 tons. That means government is working with me. But the extra I'm having is to enable miners, instead of exporting the raw, bring in their raw material to me to process for them into ingot, so that factory locally can use, I can sell to them as an SME or export it. Now, that industrialization that is more like coordinated, centralized, in a way that the SME, because like you said, you have to worry about power, but Dangote doesn't have to worry about power because he has fixed it. We can, a business, a big organization can fix that for itself, and then, but it shouldn't fix it for itself. It should fix it in a way that has enough capacity to accommodate others who will also come and process similar product for export. These are the models that the like of China will do. And even I've seen this model for the first time in the UK about 10 years ago, in which small businesses can come and process. That means the focus now will be on increasing their capacity for their raw materials and developing the market for it. That's the kind of diversification model I think we should be looking at.
All right, Bamidele Ayemibo, because I'm looking at a really big picture here. I mean, it really saddens me. It saddens my heart if you say that every time a new sheriff is in town, he comes up with his own roadmap that probably would probably be expire after their tenure. We have also often refused to have long-term preparations for long-term plans for this country. I mean, the conversation around ease of doing business is one that was very, very heavy in the last administration under Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. But as we speak, how much continuity do we have on that? So when you say the ministry with the new sheriff now has its own road plan, a new roadmap, I begin to wonder, will this roadmap run after they have left office? Is it a short term, is it a medium term, or is it a long-term roadmap? That, I think, is the way to go if we must indeed diversify this economy and not all about short-term roadmaps going forward.
Very correct. Very, very correct. Which is why we should think institutionally. We think of building institutions that will outlast whoever is there, so that even if the government is not there or the minister is no more there, is that which was why I said it should be, when I was making suggestion, the model I think we should pursue, it should be private sector driven, but supported by the federal government, so that they can reduce their cost of production because they will enjoy economy of scale. But I agree with you, the fact that you shouldn't build something today and then someone come tomorrow and can stop it. And the only way that will happen is if there is a private sector involvement and if it is a viable program that is generating the desired result and is helping to grow the economy. Because if it's generating results, it's difficult for someone to just come and stop, because you can see the result and the impact on the economy. Any right-thinking person coming in future will probably want to be to take the glory, probably support it, and also be able to take glory of what has been done in that sector, which is why there must be a private sector infusion into it, because of course the government really is continuum, but every sheriff, like you said, come in and they want to do their own thing their own way, and sometimes it actually drags us back, because someone can just come in and have a different idea on a particular thing entirely, which is why I think it will have been good also that it comes right from the head. For example, a great vision for the country that is like a law that everybody must follow. This is what we want to achieve. So even as a president, you can't come in and say you want to change that. But I don't think we have that kind of problem. We used to have vision 2020, but now we're in 2025. I don't know the vision we're having right now.
So I'm looking at.
Thank you so much.
So I'm looking at a bit of the plan of the roadmap here, and roadmap 3 reads, it says investment mobilization, in increased investment retention and attraction. That's what it says here. It says retain domestic investors, platinum business champions, and export business champion. Domestic investments. As we speak, Bamidele, I know the monetary policy managers are meeting right about now, and they are going to be determining the fate of interest rates in a couple of minutes. I'm looking at the domestic environment, domestic business environment, and policies that have either strangulated the environment or encouraged the environment. That, I think, is also a concern. It's one thing to have a roadmap, but a holistic approach would be the entire managers of the economy speaking with one voice, having a direction, and every policies are geared towards a common goal, and not the monetary policy committee coming up with one policy, the fiscal policies would counter that, and it's just back and forth. Not speaking in one voice could make implementation of this roadmap completely impossible.
Very correct. Which is why most of the time we have harmonization between the monetary and fiscal policy. I'm eager to see the outcome of the MPR, the Monetary Policy Committee meeting today, and the reason is because recently we have the rebates of the inflation now at about 24, and so we're expecting that the MPR rate should come down. The rebasing make a lot of sense. We are hoping we'll be able to bring in investment, and like the MBS official said, it's not like inflation has reduced. They've just rebased the inflation based on 2024 data, and now we are 24%. So I'm hoping that there will be a reduction in MPR, so that we can have a reduction in interest rate in order to be able to help businesses to access funds at a cheaper rate and be able to invest more into the economy. But harmonization between the monetary policy and fiscal policy is extremely important. That's what I hope to see, which is why I'm a bit concerned about CBN initiative. CBN is, even though they don't want to be involved in some of the physical area, but I think there must be a synergy. So for example, CBN needs forests to come in. But I can't see what CBN is doing to support Ministry of Agri, to support Ministry of Trade, to support NEPC, to support Nexim, to be able to stimulate growth of non-net export, to be able to increase the effects which will help CBN to achieve its objective of stability of the foreign exchange market.
Well, Bamidele, thank you so much for those thoughts. But I just have one question for you right now before we go. Let's look at this particular trade and investment sector. What is the pedigree in the past? How has it fared in the past? Before we talk about the promotion, and then what are the possible hiccups, challenges, and factors that could militate against this particular promotion, looking at its policy formation, and of course, don't forget implementation step by step, and comprehensive evaluation, as it were. And how do Nigeria and Nigerians try to make sure that they avoid or completely erase these factors and make this promotion work for the betterment of Nigeria and Nigerians?
Very important question. This is the reason why also we've not had good implementation in the past. My observation with a number of government programs is sometimes they are doing a program for the private sector without involving the private sector. And that's a concern, which is concern I raised when we went for the Nigerian single window program, in which all the people that were speaking were public sector people, public sector. The importer were not speaking, the banks were not speaking, the people who are going to be using the platform are not even in the room, are not even invited to be able to speak, talk about the challenges and the real issue that this must address if it's going to work. So what I'm hoping to see, which is why I love what the minister has done so far, he has had a couple of private sector engagement, unlike what we have seen in the past. I'm hoping that this will be a different approach in terms of implementation, engaging the private sector also, right? Having engaged with them in being able to draw up the plan, engaging with them also in the implementation, because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be for them anyway. So they shouldn't be seeing the private sector as if we are competing. They are doing it for us, and it should be working together to be able to ensure that the implementation eventually see the light of the day and the result is for betterment of the economy.
You know, we really have to go, Bamidele Ayemi. It's always a pleasure speaking with you on the show. We'll bring you back. I'm happy you have your eagle eye on the activities of the Ministry of Investment and Trade. I'm happy you have your eagle eye on them. So we'll keep calling you whenever we need clarity on activities with the ministry. Thank you very much, Bamidele Ayemi, Trade and Investment, International Business Development, Trade Finance Experts. It's a pleasure speaking with you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.